All right, folks, so next we're going to be cutting out the pictures so that we have no backgrounds that we don't want. So we're going to do this specifically on the frog, the orange, and the bird. And I'm going to show you 3 ways to do that. Okay, so I'm starting off with the easiest. I have clicked the check marks on each layer that I'm not doing right now so that I don't have to see, so I'm not having a ton in the background. So what we're going to use primarily is going to be the cutout tool, which looks like the scissors over here. I'm going to start with the orange. So I'm going to make sure that I'm clicked on the orange layer. I'm going to grab my cutout tool. And the first tool that is really helpful is when you have a nice clean white background like this one does, we're going to use the magic mask, okay? So what we want to do is, this selects via colors, so I could select and add with orange, but the issue with that is there's a lot of different shades of orange here. So what I'm going to do is, since the background is flat white, I'm going to use remove mask, click on the white, and bam, it's pretty well cut out, all right? And if it went too far, I could play with the tolerance. So I can lower the tolerance if it took a little bit too much. I'm gonna hit Command Z to step back one here. I didn't like that there was that really rough edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little tiny bit of a feather. Let's say maybe a 6 pixel feather. I might lower my tolerance just a touch. Oops, that was, okay. Tolerance, I'm just gonna lower that just a touch and try it again. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so there's our first one using the magic wand. Excellent. The next one that we can cut out is the bird. So I'm going to turn this one off and turn on the bird. Now, the bird and the frog are going to be a little bit more challenging, all right? So, for instance, we can use a combination of things, but they have a background, so they're going to be more challenging. Actually, let's just show you this on the frog, and you'll do the exact same thing on the bird. The great thing with the cutout mask tool is that it is non-permanent, of course, all right? And we're going to use a combination of the lasso and the draw, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is grab my lasso, and I'm going to put this on add mask, okay? So this is basically where I can draw around and select the entire thing that I want to keep. So if I wanted to, I could do this really nicely, and I could go right up on that edge, and that, if I have a steady hand with my mouse, is a pretty good way. Oops. Oh, you know what happened? I was not on my right layer. I was on the orange layer. So I'm going to step back once, because that changed my mask on here. I'm going to click on my orange frog, and I'm going to try that again. Okay, so quickly going around. Cut it out, all right? If you screw up, if you take a little bit extra, or if you just need to adjust it, I tend to like to use the draw tool, the draw mask. So I change my brush settings, okay? So I want a hard edge on this edge here. So I'm going to bring my softness down so it has a really soft edge, and I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger, about 100 maybe. Okay, and basically we can add if I need to, or I can come over here and hit the remove mask, which is what I need to do, and I'm just going to go around that edge. masking that away. All right. So what's the nice thing here is that it is non-permanent. The pixels are not deleted. All right. All right. So that if I take too much away, so since these are not deleted, if I take too much away, oops, I can flip to add and add it back and slip to subtract. That's the whole point of masking. So, excellent. So those are the best ways to cut things out. You don't have to be absolutely perfect on this, but try and get a decent job, and you want to have really good selections when you do your project. By the way, mine was being a little chunky on my moving, so I brought my step all the way down to 0 so that it's a more smooth brush stroke. All right. So if you're having trouble with that, where it is the brush is moving chunkily, try moving on under the brush settings the step down. All right, so you're going to cut out this, the orange, and the bird with those tools. All right, that is all.